Hi, I'm Liz Schrum of the Wisconsin Technology Council, here with WisBusiness.com, the show, brought to you by Grant Thornton, Whitehurst Beck Dudek, and Madison Gas and Electric. On today's show, our Inside Wisconsin commentary, Tom Still talks about signs of life in the Milwaukee economy. And the Chief Counsel of Advocacy for the U.S. Small Business Administration tells us about the role small businesses play in the American economy. The WisBusiness.com Stock Report is next.
What has made Grant Thornton one of the largest accounting organizations in the world, with resources in more than 100 countries worldwide? Is it their global capabilities, or is it their passion for how they serve their clients? Grant Thornton.
And now, here's the WisBusiness.com Stock Report for early December. Rising state manufacturing. New surveys indicate major manufacturers and employers are more optimistic going into 2011 as big business deals abound. Following the announcement that mining equipment manufacturer Bucyrus would be acquired by Caterpillar, Cudahy-based Lattice company, which makes jet engine and aerospace components, announces a takeover by Pittsburgh-based Allegheny Technologies. Meanwhile, Butler-based energy supplier Actuan announces a deal to acquire a Dutch company, Mastervolt, and Milwaukee's Johnson Controls says it will buy a German car seat manufacturer. Finally, two Fox Valley manufacturers report good news. Neenah-based Plexus announces it will open a new operation in Germany, while Oshkosh Corporation receives a new order from the Army to make 4,700 more vehicles. And falling, BioMass. Energy from homegrown egg products seems like a no-brainer for Wisconsin, but projects are being shelved or criticized. Xcel Energy had planned to build the Midwest's largest wood-burning power plant on the shores of Lake Superior in Ashland. But those plans are on hold after the utility notifies the Public Service Commission of its decision to stop construction. And a report from the Wisconsin Center for Investigative Journalism shows that a large chunk of a federal stimulus award for green energy went to Cambria-based ethanol producer Didion Million, a company that has been classified as a high-priority violator of federal environmental standards. That's the WisBusiness.com Stock Report. Go to WisBusiness.com for more on these and other stories. Now, here's Tom Still with his Inside Wisconsin commentary.
Is the Milwaukee area economy finally bouncing back? If you're one of the 60,000 or so people in Wisconsin's largest metro region who are still looking for a job, the answer is probably still a resounding no. But if you're among those rejoining the job market in Milwaukee, or among the employers who are once again looking for talent, there are some encouraging signs of recovery. Here's a glimpse at recent reports that would indicate Milwaukee may be turning the corner, not only in terms of its recovery from the Great Recession, but from a much longer period when its growth didn't come close to matching national and world performance. The job search engine Juju.com recently placed Milwaukee as 10th best on its Job Search Difficulty Index, a monthly report that weighs populations of major cities and divides the number of unemployed workers by the number of job postings. Milwaukee, with an unemployment rate of 7.7%, showed 2.4 jobless people per advertised job. Manpower Incorporated's Employment Outlook survey for the first quarter of 2011 ranked the hiring outlook in Milwaukee as third best in the nation. Portfolio.com, an online source that often focuses on tech development and entrepreneurship, this month gave Milwaukee some credit for academic smarts. In its survey of educational attainment in the nation's 200 largest markets, Milwaukee ranks 66th best. The list assigns point values to 5 rungs on the educational ladder, from high school dropouts to holders of advanced degrees. Madison, by the way, ranked 9th highest on the list. Perhaps the most telling report is from the Brookings Institution, which this month released its Global Metro Monitor to chart economic progress in the world's 150 largest metropolitan areas. Milwaukee ranked 141st out of 150 during the late 90s and early 2000s, when other regions were zooming ahead, perhaps in part because it was so strongly linked to a traditional manufacturing economy already in decline. It inched up to 135th in Brookings' rankings during the recession, in part because much of the economic damage had already taken place. Milwaukee has since moved up to 83rd in Brookings' recovery ratings. Something must be clicking in Milwaukee. The region's manufacturing economy has transformed itself through technology and other efficiencies. Startup companies are beginning to gain traction with the help of investors. An entrepreneurial ecosystem has emerged, and the city's image has become younger and more energetic. As policymakers consider ways to revive the Wisconsin economy, one answer in Milwaukee and elsewhere should be, don't fix what's already starting to work.
Thanks, Tom. Our interview with the U.S. SBA's Chief Counsel of Advocacy is next. We'll be right back.
White Hirschbeck Dudek represents companies at all stages of development and in a wide range of industries to navigate the legal challenges of regional, national, and global growth. At WHD, every stage takes center stage.
I'm back with Winslow Sargent, Chief Counsel of Advocacy for the U.S. Small Business Administration. Thanks for joining us, Winslow.
It's good to be here.
First of all, tell us, what is the job of the SBA's Office of Advocacy?
The Office of Advocacy was created in 1976 at a time when regulations that were being promulgated by government agencies did not take into account the effect of those regs on small businesses. So the Office of Advocacy serves as the voice of small businesses within the federal government. The goal is to make sure that as the federal government promulgate regulations, they take into account the effect of those regulations such that they're not unfairly burdensome to small businesses.
And how did your experience as an entrepreneur and an investor prepare you for this job?
This job is to really be the voice of small businesses, and I think that there's no more important experience is to understand what the entrepreneur faces, what the small business owner goes through. And so as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, as a researcher, as an investor, I bring all that background to this position to make sure that the voice of small business is heard at all levels of government.
Now that you're in Washington and taking a national view, how do you see Wisconsin's assets?
Wisconsin has a number of great things going for it, from great institutions to entrepreneurs to the geography. I believe those things have come together to serve the state well, and going forward, the politicians within the states, along with the entrepreneurs, will come together to birth the next generation of great companies.
Thanks, Winslow, and thank you for watching this edition of WisBiz.com, the show. The show is produced by WisBiz.com and the Wisconsin Technology Council, and sponsored by Grant Thornton, White Hirschbeck Dudek, and MG&E. Visit our websites to read and learn more. I'm Liz Schrum. See you next time.